Hey yogis, today I'm going to be talking about how to utilize your breath to help with pelvic floor toning and to make sure you know how to relax, release, and receive when it comes time for birth. So if that's what you're looking for, stick with this video and I'll explain it all to you. Thanks! Before we get into the actual how to breathe with your pelvic floor, I want to talk about the anatomy and big belly breathing. When we take inhales, a lot of our society is conditioned to breathe with your chest. So that when we say take a big inhale, people automatically go with their chest and their shoulders. And when they exhale, they concave their chest and they release their shoulders. We want to try to reframe this thought process. So belly breathing is if you place your hands on your belly, you take a big inhale. Imagine your belly ballooning out, right? So we inhale through our belly first, then our ribs, then our chest, and then we release. And then everything gets a little smaller, your ribs come back in, your belly comes back to normal. We'll try that one more time. Bring your hands to your belly, imagine it ballooning out as you inhale, then your ribs, then your chest. Exhale, sigh it all out. So now that we have this belly ballooning out motion, I want you to continue to think of this balloon in your head, okay? When you inhale, your belly goes out, you fill up the balloon. When you exhale, your belly comes back to normal, the balloon deflates. I want to preface, I am not a pelvic floor therapist, I am not licensed. All of this information that I am sharing with you is what I learned in my 85-hour prenatal training through the Prenatal Yoga Center. 100% consult with your pelvic floor therapist, consult with your doctor. This is just knowledge that I have that I want to share with you all. Now we're on to the pelvic floor. I want you to imagine your pelvic floor kind of like a trampoline, okay? So you have this buoyancy in it. It has a little bit of bounce, a little bit of give, but the magic about a trampoline is it always comes back to neutral. This is the activation that we want with your pelvic floor. So it has to have a little buoyancy, you gotta give a little bounce to it, but at the end of the day, we want that pelvic floor health, that strength balanced with suppleness or softness to create that buoyancy and come back to normal. So keeping this trampoline in mind, as your belly balloons out, your pelvic floor is relaxing. So your stomach and your lungs are taking up all of this space, compressing your pelvic floor down a little bit so it's relaxing down. And then as you exhale, your belly's coming back to normal. Your pelvic floor, that's when it starts to tighten. Good, lift and tone. So as you inhale, your stomach's ballooning out, your pelvic floor is relaxing. As you exhale, your stomach's coming back to neutral. Your pelvic floor then can activate, and that's when we'll start to single out the pelvic floor muscles. And what these muscles are is there's 3 different layers to your pelvic floor. There's the outermost, the middle, and then the super high layer all the way up in your body, right? So we want to try to activate these. This sounds a little silly, but stick with me. We're going to think about a jelly bean, right? We're going to think about pulling this jelly bean up your birth canal. And I know this may be TMI, but your birth canal is your vagina. If you don't like that word, I'm sorry, but it's a part of life. It is what it is. Call it birth canal, call it vagina. It's whatever you want. Stick with me on this analogy, okay? We're imagining as we exhale, pulling that jelly bean up the 3 different layers of your birth canal, all right? So some people, when I talk about this, they're like, am I squeezing my pee in? Am I holding my poop? Like, what is this supposed to feel like? And that's okay. We want to make sure that we try to single out this vagina muscle or your birth canal muscle. I want to note, this is different than Kegels. We're activating this muscle with our breath. So I'll talk through it one more time. As we inhale, your belly expands, your pelvic floor relaxes, releases, and receives. As you exhale, your belly comes back into neutral, your pelvic floor then activates, squeezing through that jelly bean, lift, lengthen, and tone. If it doesn't feel right and you're just kind of like, I still don't know what I'm doing, that's okay. Practice makes perfect. Or reach out to me in the comments below, send me an email, and I would love to have a call with you to kind of explain how it works. Because sometimes I say silly stuff and it clicks for some people in different ways. Now we'll practice a few breaths together. You can drift your eyes closed or find a soft gaze, soften in your shoulders, sit up tall. And just start to connect with your breath. Feeling the air come in through your nose and flow out through your nose or mouth, whatever feels best. And take one more breath, inhale. And a normal exhale. Now we'll start to activate our balloon breath or our belly breath. Inhale, fill up through your belly, then your ribs, then your chest. Exhale, sigh it out. One more time, inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, let it go. Good. This time as we inhale, fill your belly up. Your pelvic floor relaxes, releases, receives. Exhale, lift, pull that jelly bean up, lengthen and tone. And keep it going. Inhale, relax, release, receive. Exhale, lift, lengthen and tone. Inhale, relax, release, receive. Exhale, lift, lengthen and tone. Keep it up. Inhale, relax, release, receive. Exhale, lift, lengthen, and tone. Two more. Relax, release, receive. Exhale, lift, lengthen, and tone. Last one. Inhale, relax, release, receive. Exhale, lift, lengthen, and tone. Take a regular breath in. And let out a sigh. Wiggle through your shoulders, wiggle through your hips. So, take a moment to pause and reflect. See how that felt in your body. See if you could identify your pelvic floor muscles. If not, that's okay. That's what practice is for. And we as women are not taught to activate these muscles or what it feels like. What the purpose of this is for. So, not only do we want to worry about pelvic health for normal sexual activity, that's not the main reason, but that's mainly what we hear it for. But it's also super important for childbirth. So as you feel your belly expanding, your baby's growing, that's a lot of downward pressure on your pelvic floor. So we want to make sure that we are still activating and keeping those muscles strong. Imagine there's so much weight pushing on it, pushing on it, pushing on it. You don't want this pelvic floor muscle to just continue to feel this pressure without activating it a little bit. And on the other side of things, some people may have a very active pelvic floor. It rests more on the tighter side. And with that, when you think of childbirth, your whole pelvic floor or your birth canal is going to need to open up. All right, it's going to have to expand to allow your baby to come out. So we want to find this balance in between having the strength of the pelvic floor, but also finding this softness and releasing and knowing what it feels like to have that release as well. And the acknowledgement of both of these will help you so much when it's time to give birth to your baby and even postpartum. After you have this baby sitting on your pelvic floor for so long, you give birth to it, all of this stretching happens. It's time for recovery. And these are some PT breath work that you can do to help with that. So I hope that this helps, yogis. I'm so excited to bring this to you. I hope you like my illustrations and my drawings that I put to the side. Yeah, reach out to me if you want any additional lessons on pelvic floor breath. I tie this into my yoga classes, my prenatal and postnatal. So let me know, like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Lead with love, my yogis.
That's good.